Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series on the life divine with our beloved Ranga. We are in the section Reality and the Cosmic Illusion, page 457, the last line.
Before we start reading, I'll just remind you of where we are exactly. We situate ourselves clearly. Sri Aurobindo had the experience of the self, and when he had the experience of the self in Baroda, the world seemed to be unreal. Okay, it seemed to be only a shadow play of images without any solid substance in them. So he is very much concerned with that, because the others who have had that experience are quite satisfied with them, and they feel that that's the ultimate reality. But Sri Aurobindo could not subscribe himself to that, because he says, how can it be that all that I was thinking is real now suddenly becomes unreal? I can't accept that very easily. So he waited patiently until he could go to a higher level of consciousness, where again things become real to him. But not real in the sense of our reality. The way I am looking at things is very real to me. That table is real, Narad is real, my computer is real, I am seeing only the form. But when you go to a higher level of consciousness, you see the reality behind the form. The form itself is not real, because the form is there today, tomorrow it may disappear. So that's not the reality. The reality is the form, the reality which is behind the form, supporting it for as long as it is necessary. And it supports these forms. Each thing is supported in different proportions. A butterfly is supported for 1 week and then it disappears. A man is supported for maybe 100 years and then it disappears, the form. A cat, 20 years. Okay?
Is there anything that is really permanent on
Nothing
this
in
earth?
the physical world is permanent.
Not even the earth?
No, not even change.
Not
Change
even
is the only one that's permanent. Change is the only one that's permanent. Transience is permanent.
We have a joke, change and taxes are the only thing permanent.
Yeah, that's right. So, then he has discussed the images of Shankara, and he has discussed that. So now he comes to the fact that, now in this chapter he is discussing, so where is this experience of unreality coming from? How can it be? Since after all you have been experiencing the unreality, so there must be something to it. So we have to explain what is it and what is its relation to the reality. So now in this classical theory of illusionism, that's what he is going to discuss. He has also told you already in this chapter that there are three things to be considered. There is the one who is seeing, the seer, then there is a thing to be seen, and there is the knowledge, that sight that links them. So I have used words like seer, seen and sight. I can also use the words percipient, the percept and the perception. So now, how is this unreality coming from? Where is it coming? To which element of these three does it belong? So this is the discussion that we are having now.
So one question, when Sri Aurobindo reached the supramental, then was the earth real in its own way, in its transient way?
No. The transient remains a transient. Because if you remember, the two hemispheres, the upper hemisphere is static.
Yes.
Permanently static, immutable. And the physical world is permanently in transience. There is constant movement here, beginning from the atoms, going on whirling. Nothing can stop it. It's going on. Everything in the physical world is transient. Nothing is permanent here. So even when you go there, you see the reality. If you go to the supermind, you are seeing the forms are transient, but there is a reality supporting the transience. That's what you see. They are all vibrations. So, with this, we are going to now have a look at what he is saying. In the classical theory of illusionism, a sole and supreme spiritual existence is accepted as the one reality. We are now discussing line by line, so I will go into this now. So, he says that the yogi who experiences the physical world as unreal, he enters into a consciousness which you can call Brahman, you can call it Atman, you can call it Nirvana, you can call it Self. It's all the same thing. So, what is this consciousness? This consciousness is something that is immutable. This is a static condition, like a video that is stuck. In your consciousness, nothing is moving. All the movement is down below in the physical world which you are watching. Okay? In your own consciousness, it is absolutely static, and the consciousness is just watching without any judgment. You become the witness.
And no action?
No action at all. No action at all. You are just watching everything and no action at all. Okay? Action is taking place there, down there. Now, it's very interesting because when we are looking at things, we are making judgments. Okay? Narad is 6 feet tall, he has a white beard. I don't like white beards, I am making a judgment. Okay? He is wearing a nice blue shirt, I like that shirt. Liking and disliking is coming up. I am making judgments. But if I take a picture of you, the camera won't lie and has no judgments. So the camera is a perfect image of the witness self. Exactly what the camera does, the witness self is doing that, seeing the reality without judgment. The shirt is blue, the beard is salt and pepper. Okay? Things like that. No judgment. This is the self. It's immutable, but you feel yourself to be free, you feel yourself to be infinite. This is the only reality. The rest of everything else is unreal in the classical theory. Okay? That's what I mean by spiritual existence is accepted as one reality. Now the word existence also needs to be looked into because...
And he uses a capital.
Yeah. So, he uses the words existence, consciousness and bliss for Satchidananda. But he uses the word existence, that which exists. Okay? So, it corresponds to Sat. Existence corresponds to Sat. Consciousness corresponds to Chit Shakti. And Ananda corresponds to bliss, if you want, or Ananda corresponds to the bliss aspect. So, existence, when he speaks about, it is the subtlest of substance. It is that which exists. In fact, the word Sat itself is a present participle of the word to us, to be. This in Sanskrit. Us means to exist, to be. So, Sat is that which is existing. So, that's a substance. That's the only substance that exists. Next, when this substance manifests in the physical world, it starts becoming more and more gross, until finally you have matter here. So, existence is the subtlest of substance. He uses the word substance for something more gross, and matter, which is here, the most gross of all. This will help you to understand the text, what he is saying. So, when he says existence, it is a substance which is absolutely subtlest. It is so subtle that you can't, it is not open to the senses. Okay? So, that is the only reality. Okay, so, it is by its essentiality the self. He uses the word here self. Okay? Because, why is he using the word self? Even in the other ones, Atman is used because you feel that that's you. This is what I am. You realize that you are the self. You are that which is eternal, infinite, immutable, untouchable, and also featureless. No features, no color, no shape, no size, no form, nothing. There is a self. It is something so radical and so fundamental that you have the impression that this is the ultimate reality. If you go to another level of consciousness, it's not the ultimate reality. There are other realities also as you keep going up, but this is the self. I spent a little time explaining the self because you must understand what it is. Okay. Yet, so he's saying, it is by its essentiality the self. Yet, the natural beings of which it is the self are only temporary appearances. So, in the physical world, whatever you are seeing are temporary appearances. It is in its absoluteness the substratum of all things. But the universe erected on the substratum is either a non-existence, a semblance, or in some way unreally real. So we'll discuss this. Now the substratum. What is the substratum? That from which everything is coming out. It's like the water behind the dam. The water behind the dam is static. We'll think it to be infinite, no movement, absolutely transparent, and that is the reality. And from there, when the water issues out, it gushes out and makes the world. So the world depends on the self. If the self is not there, there will be no world. If the world is not there, the self will remain. You can use another image also like the glacier. The glacier doesn't seem to be moving. It does move at a very slow pace, maybe 1 meter or some centimeters in 1 year, but it seems to be static. But the river comes out of it and gushes out, and that's the world. Static, dynamic. Okay? So, the dynamic aspect seems to be all appearances only in the classical theory. Mind you, he is saying classical theory because there are many interpretations of the theory of illusionism. And that's what we come to. He is saying now the universe in its absoluteness is substratum of all things, but the universe erected on the substratum is either a non-existence, a semblance, or in some way unreally real. You can see it in 3 ways. That's why he is discussing this. Now he says non-existence. That's what the Buddhists say. There is nothing in it. Non-existence. Nihil. Shunyam. That's what they call it. That's one way of seeing. Everybody doesn't see it in that way. Somebody may see it as a semblance. Now what's a semblance? A photograph is a semblance. So you are not seeing the reality, you are seeing a photograph. I can tear that paper up and throw it away, but it seems to show something, symbolize something. Okay? It's a symbol. I can still use the words representation or image. Or
sometimes he uses the word icon.
Yeah.
Interesting word.
Okay, yeah, that's right. An icon is something which you use when it represents something.
Yes.
Like also, let us say, also the traffic lights. Red means not red, but don't move. It implies don't. There is meaning behind the red. Okay. Exactly, the green means now you can go. So there is a meaning behind that. So you don't see the meaning, but you see only the transient form. You see only the red or the green. You don't see the reality behind. In the classical theory of illusionism. Okay? And the red light and green light can be switched off and switched on. That's what happens. It's transient, unreal. Okay? The next one is some way unreally real. This is Shankara. Okay? So Shankara says the world is real and unreal both. And we can give many examples of the really unreal. One is the shadow. It seems to be real. Okay? But if you switch off the light, there is no shadow. It's a conditional reality. Then another example of real, unreal is the blue sky. You see the blue, it's real. The blueness is real to you. Everybody is seeing it as blue. You go up there is no blue. So real, unreal. Or another example is a rainbow. You see the rainbow clearly, all the beautiful colors are there. You go there to see it closer, there is no rainbow. It's only a reflection of light. Okay? So that's what it means. the three ways of looking at this unreality. So, it's a cosmic illusion. So, whatever you see in whichever way, it's a cosmic illusion. For the reality is one without a second. The reality, as I said just now, we have seen, it is one, pure, infinite, eternal, and that's a self. That's the only reality. It's one. There is no multiplicity in it.
No second.
No section, no difference, nothing. Absolutely one. Okay? That's it. So the rest is all cosmic illusion. That's what he's saying. For the reality is one without a second. It is immutable in eternity. It is a sole existence. There is nothing else. By the way, all this he is expanding the theory of the classical illusion. Not his views, You must be very careful. He has told us that is a classical theory of illusionism. So that's what he is describing here. He may not agree with all this. Okay, so for the reality is one without a second. It is immutable in eternity. It's a sole existence. There is nothing else. There are no true becomings of this being. So, the being is that which is static, is a glacier, and the becomings are the river which it becomes. So, or the static condition is the reality, and the becomings are all the forms in the physical world. So, he is saying,
there are no true becomings.
Yeah, there are no true becomings of this being. They are only shadow beings. That's why not true. Okay? They are not eternal. It is and must forever remain void. Which one? He is talking of the self. It is and must remain forever void of name, feature, formation, relation, happening. Okay? So, in Sanskrit literature we say the world is only nama and rupa. Nama is a name, and that's very interesting if you look at what the real name is. Your name is Narad, but I want to change your name. I want to call you Richard. Does it change you? It doesn't change you. So the world is only a name. It's a nomenclature. It's not the reality. It's only a form. That form, when you were 10 years younger, the form was different. When you were a child, the form was different. So there is nothing real about the form. It's not total reality. It's an unreality. It's going on changing. That's what it means. So we have the words name, feature. The features also are going on changing. Okay? What you were 10 years ago is not that. If you take pictures, you will see that you have changed completely your features. No features at all in the self. Formation, no formation. Raw material, no formation. No relation. Relation implies 2 minimum or 3, 4. But when there is nothing, there is only one, there can be any relation. Relationless. Okay? Happenings, events. Movement. There is no movement there at all. So nothing can happen. Okay? That's what. So each word, if you see, his description is so solid and so clear. Okay? So this is self. No name, no feature, no formation, no relation, no happening. If it has a consciousness, it can only be a pure consciousness of its own absolute being. Does it have a consciousness? And if it is so, it must belong only to the absolute being. Okay, so, but what then is the relation between the reality and the illusion? By what miracle or mystery does the illusion come to be, or how does it manage to appear or to abide in time forever? The world exists forever. Even when you have gone to the self and you see that as a reality, the world you are seeing, the world is there, forms are there. So, you may interpret it as illusion, but how did this come about? There is something there. So, where did it come from? What is the relation of this so-called reality, movement, to that which is static? So, what's the relation? Or are they two different things altogether? That's what he is asking now. See the questions? But what then is the relation between the reality and the illusion? You have gone from one level to another level. So, there must be a relation. If there is no relation, you can't go from one to the other. Okay, so, and by what then is the relation between the reality and the illusion? By what miracle or mystery does the illusion come to be? Okay? And how does it manage to appear or to abide in time forever? The world is not disappearing. The unreality remains. So, how is it that it is permanently there? This is the question he is going to answer. And now he comes back to the same examination as he said. Let us start looking at these three things: the knower, the known, and the knowledge. So, to establish what is this link, from where does it come, let's start examining each one, he says. So, now he says, as only Brahman is real. So, this supposition says that the one which is a consciousness which is looking, Brahman, which you have experienced as the only reality, let us assume that it is real. Then we will examine the other two, knowledge and the known.
So this is still not Sri Aurobindo's position?
Now it is.
Oh, now it is.
Now it is. Now
okay.
he is discussing.
Now it's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has stated in one para the classical theory of illusionism. Now he says, let us examine this. The last three sentences are also his own. But what then is the relation between the reality and the illusion? By what miracle or mystery? He is asking the question. Okay. So, as only Brahman is real, only a consciousness or a power of Brahman could be a real creator and a creator of realities. Okay? What you are seeing as unreal, has Brahman created it? Brahman can create only realities. So it could not be that the world that you are seeing as illusion is created by the Brahman. It can't be. You are having a little trouble with that. Okay. So, you are in the illusion and you think it is real. Like we are seeing everything now.
Yes.
Your consciousness goes there and you see what I thought is real is unreal. But it's not disappearing. It is there, but unreal. Like a semi-reality. Those three things. You can either see it as nothing, or you can see it as a semblance, or you can see it as an unreal real. Okay? So you are now in this consciousness. So how did that come about? But it is there. Okay? Yes.
But he says Brahman did not create it.
The Brahman cannot create because that's only reality. According to the classical theory of illusionism. According to Mayavada.
Okay. What created it?
Yeah.
What created it?
What created what?
The world.
So that's what he's discussing. Okay. So,
Very good.
could be real creator, real. But since there can be no other reality than Brahman pure and absolute, there can be no true creative power of Brahman. So, true creative power of Brahman, why is this? Because you must remember that the Brahman is static, immutable. If it is immutable, how can it create anything? Creation requires movement. So Brahman cannot create anything, new power of creation is not there in Brahman. Okay? He is just coming to conclusions one by one, but you must remember his own theory is that the self does not create, but it is supermind that creates, which is above. The real creator of the world.
Above Brahman?
Yeah, far above Brahman.
Oh.
Because the Brahman starts at the higher mind level. You can experience it also at the illumined mind level, at the intuitive mind level, at the overmind level, but not in the supermind. Okay. When you go to supermind, that is creator of real forms. But again, real forms, they undergo degradation and diminution and it becomes unreal here. Okay? So, he is not speaking about supermind yet. He is just saying, since Brahman is absolute, there is no movement in it, therefore it cannot create. So, a Brahman consciousness, aware of real beings, forms and happenings would signify a truth of the becoming, spiritual and material reality of the universe. So he is saying, if Brahman is seeing reality, okay, if you are seeing reality, he is examining one by one all those questions I told you. Okay, so so if Brahman, let us suppose that the Brahman is seeing something real. So what he means is, we are starting first supposition, now Brahman is real. I told you it's quite difficult. Okay?
Yes.
Now, Brahman is real and it is not creating any reality. Now let us see then what is the to be known. The knower is seeing something to be known. Let us see whether that is real or not. Okay? That's what he's saying. So, a Brahman consciousness aware of real beings forms then to signify a truth of the becoming. So, if you are seeing something real, then it means that you are seeing something real means the physical world is real. So, that is not the Mayavada theory. Okay? So, there is, which the experience of supreme truth negates and nullifies, and with which its sole existence is logically incompatible. So, it's quite, I told you it's very difficult to, because his language is such that we have to see behind the language what he is saying.
Very complex.
Yeah, it's a complex
chapter.
Yeah, it's very complex. Okay. So, with the experience of the supreme truth negates and nullifies. In the classical theory, that is the only reality. But now we are examining the relation between these three. So, if Brahman is seeing real forms, let us say that is real forms, then there must be some reality to the physical world. Okay. So, then the question arises about the next one, the knowledge which links them. Okay. So, he goes. So, experience of supreme truth negates and nullifies, and with which its sole existence is logically incompatible. Okay. So, the real world, can it see real forms? The Brahman can see real forms? He is saying that is not compatible, because the truth is, that is the only reality. This cannot be real. Okay. So, it is logically incompatible. Maya's creation is a presentation of beings, names, forms, happenings, things, impossible to accept as true, contradictory of the indeterminable purity of the one existence. This is Mayavada theory only, based on that, and he is going on arguing. Okay, so that is to say, if that is the only truth, the physical world cannot be true. We are thinking whether it is true or not. Now I come to the conclusion that it is not true. Okay, so
in the Brahman consciousness.
Yeah. So, Maya then is not real, it is non-existent. What is Maya? Maya is the power to create. So, he says that Maya, power to create, is not there, that itself is not there. Okay. It's a non-existent. Maya is itself an illusion, a parent of numberless illusions. Okay. So, it is Maya that is responsible for creating these things. The knowledge aspect is the middle one. The knower, the known, and the knowledge. The knowledge is the one that is linking the two. Okay. So, that's what he's saying. So, stands, where is it gone? But still, the parent of numberless illusions. So, the guilty party here is the Maya, which is creating these illusions. Still, this illusion, its works have some kind of existence, and so must in some way be real. Moreover, the universe does not exist in a void, but stands because it is imposed on Brahman. It is based in a way on the one reality. We ourselves, in the illusion, attribute its forms, names, relations, happenings to the Brahman, become aware of all things as the Brahman, see the reality through these unrealities. There is then a reality in Maya. So, these are all the contradictions that keep coming up. Okay, so it is at that time, it's at the same time real and unreal, existent and non-existent. Okay, so it's a paradox, a supra-rational enigma. But what then is this mystery? or is it insoluble? So that's what the classical theory of illusion says, that you can't explain this. It's not possible to explain. It's a maya, it's a something impossible to understand at the level of the mind. That's what the final conclusion is. So it's a paradox, a supra-rational enigma. In fact, they use the word in Sanskrit, anirvachaniya. It cannot be spoken of. It cannot be put into words. It is a mystery which is beyond language, beyond the mental world. Okay. But what then is this mystery, or is it insoluble? How comes this illusion to intervene in Brahman existence? What is the nature of the unreal reality of Maya? The unreal reality of Maya, how is it? How is the world, the real, creating something which seems to be unreal? Okay, so at first sight, one is compelled to suppose that Brahman must be in some way the percipient of Maya. So this is clear. At first sight, after all, when you go to the Brahman, you are seeing the physical world as unreal. If you are seeing it as unreal, you are seeing something which is unreal. So Brahman is perceiving. So is Brahman the real perceiver? That's what he is asking now. Okay. Yeah. Let us assume that the Brahman is the perceiver. Now the discussion follows. Okay. So this is the first supposition, that Brahman is real. He is perceiving. He is real himself, that's no doubt. But he is perceiving. For Brahman is the sole reality, and if he is not the percipient, who then perceives the real illusion? Okay? So he has to necessarily be the percipient of the illusion. Or the physical world, whatever it is. Okay, so any other percipient is not in existence. Any other percipient is not in existence. Either he is the only person or he is not. The individual who is in us, the apparent witness, is himself phenomenal and unreal, a creation of Maya. Okay? So if the individual is seeing, the individual is a product of the world. This is the world that has created you. Okay? In the classical theory of Mayavada, actually you can say the world has created only your body, mind, life, but not your soul. The soul is not one created by so that they are ignoring. In the classical theory of Maya, this is being ignored. Okay? You are only thinking of the body, mind, life, which the world has created. Matter has created your mind, universal energy has created your vital, and the universal mind plane of consciousness has created your mind. At the end of it, it all gets dissolved. The only thing that remains is the soul. But they are not discussing the soul here. Okay? So, at first sight, one is compelled to suppose that Brahman must be in some way the percipient of Maya. For Brahman is the sole reality, and if he is not the percipient, who then perceives the illusion? Any other percipient is not in existence. The individual who is in us, the apparent witness, is himself phenomenal and unreal, a creation of Maya. Okay? But if Brahman is the percipient, how is it possible that the illusion can persist for a moment, since the true consciousness of the percipient is consciousness of self, and awareness solely of its own pure self-existence? If Brahman perceives the world and things with a true consciousness, then they must all be itself and real. So if Brahman is the percipient, the world has to be real. But since they are not the pure self-existence, but at best forms of it, and are seen through a phenomenal ignorance, this realistic solution is not possible. Okay? In the Mayavada theory. So, it is not possible. Yet we have to accept, provisionally at least, the universe as a fact, an impossibility as a thing that is, since Maya is there and her works persist and obsess the spirit with a sense, however false of their reality. Okay? At our condition, we are completely convinced that this is the reality. That's the individual. That's right. It is on this basis that we have then to face and solve the dilemma. So, there is a contradiction and we have to solve the problem taking this into account. Now, so we started with knower the Brahman is real, and then we are now we are seeing whether the world is real or not, and we are saying world is real, and then we say that it can't, world can't be real because the Brahman cannot create. So it's a contradiction. So we have to reject that theory. So now we will examine whether the knower, the knowledge itself, the Maya that is creating the world, the creator, the link between the two, is that real or unreal? You see the steps one by one? So now, if Maya is in some way real, is Maya real or unreal? He is examining that. Okay. If Maya is in some way real, the conclusion imposes itself that Brahman, the reality, is in that way the percipient of Maya. Okay. If Maya is real, because Brahman is real, he is perceiving Maya. Maya may be his power of differentiating perception. For the power of Maya, consciousness for the power of Maya consciousness, which distinguishes it from the true consciousness of soul spiritual self, is its creative perception of difference. The world you are seeing differences, you are seeing multiplicity here. So, Maya is the one that is creating this one. That's what he is saying. Which distinguishes from true consciousness, it is creative perception of difference. Or, Maya must be at least, if this creation of difference is considered to be only a result and not the essence of Maya force, some power of Brahman's consciousness, for it is only a consciousness that can see or create an illusion, and there cannot be another original or originating consciousness than that of Brahman. But since Brahman is also self-aware forever, there must be a double status of the Brahman consciousness. We are trying to explain the mystery. Okay? Maybe it is possible that Brahman consciousness, there is a real consciousness and a consciousness that is capable of seeing unreality. Okay? That's what he is saying. One conscious of the soul reality, the other conscious of the unrealities to which by its creative perception of them, it gives some kind of apparent existence. So, Brahman is real, and now we are considering whether Maya is real. If Maya is real, okay, then the world that you are seeing, how to explain that? So, he is saying, it must be that the Brahman consciousness, there is two. Okay? There is one that can perceive only the reality, and another status where it can perceive the unreality also. Okay, so the other conscious of the unrealities to which by its creative perception of them, it gives some kind of apparent existence. These unrealities cannot be made of the substance of the reality. Okay? These unrealities cannot be made of the substance of the reality. He has told you, I told you about substance. So that is the real. The real can never become unreal. So therefore this is something else. Okay? So these unrealities cannot be made the substance of the reality, for they also must be real. In this view, one cannot accept the assertion of the Upanishads that the world is made out of the supreme existence is a becoming. So the Upanishads are saying that the world is made out of the substance of Satchidananda. So he says we cannot accept that. If we lean on the theory of the classical illusionism, okay, they are at contradiction to each other. If you accept classical illusionism as real, then the Upanishad is not right. Okay, so these unrealities cannot be made the substance of reality, for then they also must be real. In this view, It's only a view. He is discussing all the possibilities. One cannot accept the assertion of the Upanishads that the world is made out of the supreme existence, is a becoming, an outcome or product of the eternal being. Brahman is not the material cause of the universe. Our nature, as opposed to ourself, is not made of a spiritual substance. Okay? Our nature, your body, mind, life, is not made out of the supreme substance. It is constructed out of the unreal reality of Maya. But on the contrary, our spiritual being is that of substance. But on the contrary, our spiritual being is of that substance. The spiritual being is indeed the Brahman. Brahman is above Maya, but he is also the percipient of his creations, both from above and from within Maya. This dual consciousness offers itself as the sole plausible explanation of the riddle of a real eternal percipient, an unreal percept, and a perception that's half real creator of unreal perception. So if you want, we'll summarize what he is saying. Okay, so to settle the question, now I am reading the summary of the whatever we have discussed until now. Okay. To settle the question of the perceiver, okay, let us examine the third element, the perception, which in this case is Maya. Maya is the creator. In a way, you can say, if you think of the knower, the known, and the knowledge, it is knowledge that creates a connection between the two. So Maya is that connection here in this case. Okay, so to settle the question of the perceiver, let us examine the third element. So, whether the perceiver we have started with the theory that the perceiver is real. Okay, so the perception, which in this case is the Maya, power of creation of the Brahman. Let us then examine Maya, the power of creating illusions. First supposition, could Maya be real? Second supposition, is Maya unreal? Okay, so first supposition, could Maya be real? If it is real, then certainly Brahman is the percipient, because Brahman can see only reality. Maya would then be the power of Brahman to create a different secondary perception. There would then be in Brahman a power of true perception and another power of creating differentiating perception. But if it be objected that this differentiating perception is only a result of Maya and not Maya itself, then we must conclude that Maya is power of Brahman, because except Brahman nothing can create. Okay? So Brahman would have two powers. One, seeing the Maya and not Maya itself. Then we must conclude that Maya is power of Brahman, because Brahman, so Brahman would then have two powers. One, seeing the sole reality, and second, a seeing of unreality which would show itself as some sort of apparent existence. But these secondary realities cannot be real, because then they would be fully real. If we accept the first possibility, two possibilities is discussed. If we accept the first possibility, that Brahman has a double power of seeing, then we cannot accept the Upanishadic Vedantic statement that the world is made out of the real substance of Brahman. In this possibility, the world would not be made out of real substance, but it would be constructed out of unreal Maya. But actual spiritual experience shows us that our spiritual substance is made out of real Brahman stuff. This is not the Maya theory, it is actual experience. So, the only explanation would be that there is a dual consciousness, a real percipient, an unreal percept, and a perception that is half real creator of unreal percepts, that is the universe. So, these are all theories.
Yes.
He is just saying. And finally he will reject all of them and come to the theory that the world is transient. It's a semi-reality, but there is a reality supporting it.